Many of us like to think that we are decision makers, yet when it comes to deciding, we'd rather let someone else take that step, for fear we might get it wrong and be held responsible. To make a decision takes guts, or simply the certainty that you had all the facts right. But with decision making come responsibility and accountability, not just the glory of being responsible for this or that. Responsibility and accountability are not for the faint-hearted, and certainly not for those who are not ready to be held responsible should something go wrong. How do we get people to make decisions? Is a very pertinent question which I'm sure bothers many of us. There is no one-sentence answer to this question. The answer is given to us by human psychology and more specifically by behavioral sciences. And just like this, we enter the very murky waters of persuasion and manipulation. Should we offer someone all the facts so that they can draw their own conclusion, irrespective of their potential conclusion and the time it would take for them to reach it? Or should we manipulate someone into taking the decisions we would like them to? Persuasion and manipulation are very closely linked. The main difference is the one related to agency, and both persuasion and manipulation play on the subject's personality traits and behaviors. To use either persuasion or manipulation successfully, we need to know the subjects very well, or, in other words, we need to profile them. For those who are not very familiar with psychoanalysis and other behavioral sciences, the best starting point is Maslow's hierarchy of human motivation. I wrote a very explanatory chapter on this issue in PR News' Book of Crisis Management and Tactics, Volume 6. It is aptly entitled, What's in it for me and why should I do it? We humans are much more risk-averse than we would like to believe. Therefore, the first argument one would need to use when trying to persuade, not manipulate, please, someone into making a decision is to deconstruct or dismiss, from the start, any and all potential risks that the subject may associate with that decision. It is therefore very helpful and professional too, depending on the type of decision to be taken and the organization this applies to create a specific risk register for that decision alone. However, there comes the kicker. We, as in we humans, do not care about the risks to others first. We mainly care about the risks to us, our job, our livelihood, our paycheck, and our reputation first. Then we might, many may not, care about the risks to others. So, if you are trying to persuade someone to put their signature on the dotted line, your first arguments should be how, in case he or she takes such a decision, the risks of that decision jeopardizing their, and here fill in the blanks with whatever is a priority to them, are minimal and, very important, you need to immediately argue that should any such risks occur, the solutions that can be used to mitigate those repercussions are X, Y, Z. And do make sure that your solutions are totally on point. What you did there with this very simple exercise above, you allayed that person's innermost fears, thus allowing the adrenaline to subside, which is very high in the fight or flight conditions related to decision making, and you brought them down to a calmer state where the hippocampus takes over and where they would be more amenable to listen to actual pertinent arguments related to the substance of the decisions they would need to make. At this point, you can start laying down the business rationale for the decision you advise them to make, ending your proposal in a crescendo of, and this is how this decision will also be very good for you as the, whatever their position or title are. On a subliminal level, what you also did with this reverse psychological roller coaster, if I may call it so, you positioned yourself in a place of high trust. You made the subject visualize his or her worst fears. You were the savior, as in the one who was able to find solutions or get out of options for each of the problems they were dreading, and you also showed them the possible rewarding outcomes were they to take that decision. And you did that cleanly, honestly, and ethically. You allowed them to weigh the risks versus the benefits and make a decision. To conclude, there are many decisions which to us may seem blatantly obvious in terms of how they make business sense. But unless we marry the personal risk appetite of the decision maker with the risk potential of the decision we are expecting or wanting them to make, our presumed persuasion or influencing efforts are likely to fail. It is all about psychology, just as everything in the world of business is. My name is Elamenti, and I would like to thank you for being here today. Power and influence is a journey, and I would love to have you with me on it. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to subscribe to this channel. Also, please do leave your thoughts, views, and comments below. I would love to read them. Thank you.